Hey everybody, Doug Washington here, aka Basin Tackle Rob, or Basin Tackle Rob, aka Doug Washington, probably a little more specific. We were out fishing in the bay last night in the dark, and the Minn Kota, the electric motor, decided to stop working. It didn't stop working completely, but what she was doing was kicking out power. It would test full battery, it was good, and then it would be under load and then die out. So I'm thinking, if it's under load, it's a good chance it's something to do with the wiring, something to do with the electrical. So I was messing with that, and I was plugging it and unplugging it, checking for corrosion, looking for stuff. There was a little bit of discoloration, but nothing bad. And went to the battery box in the back, disconnected all that, reconnected it, played with the breaker. Everything seemed fine. It would go back up to working, and even just sitting on idle, it would sit there, it'd be fine, no load on it, and then it would just die. It would kick out again. Eventually got to the point where it just stopped. So we said, you know what, let's just call it a night and see what's going on. It's so nice to fish with, especially at night in the dark. It adds a layer of safety to what you're doing. So we said, to heck with it. Let's just call it a night. But the bite was so good. Oh my gosh. We got about an hour's worth of fishing. And no joke, we caught 40 to 50 fish each in an hour. That's almost a fish a minute. Like, it was drop it, drop it, drop it. Sometimes just, kind of drop it in the water by the boat to untangle your line, and you'd have a fish on. Mostly smalls, but we didn't have time to get out and get a chance to get the big ones. So we said, to heck with it. So today, I replaced all the connections. It's cool because this is all stuff that we've had forever and we kind of keep on hand. So took all the wiring apart, redid it. Now there was some corrosion on some of the wiring, and I'll tell you a little trick I learned. I learned it online today. I soaked it in vinegar. Just regular household vinegar, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, shook it around a few times, came back out, wiped it off, and almost good as new. I had no idea vinegar worked like that, but it did. So we'll go back here. I cleaned the contacts back here. I tried everything. I messed with everything. I could not figure it out. I checked for continuity. Continuity was good. I checked for voltage. Voltage was good. And then it wasn't. And then continuity wasn't. So there was something intermittent. And I was thinking, well, it's got to be one of the cables somewhere running underneath the boat. Like, that's going to be a pain in the butt to fix. What it ended up being, the culprit in the end, was an intermittent issue with the breaker. And it would work great. And it was transmitting all the electricity it was supposed to. And then all of a sudden, it went from 26 volts to 21 volts to 9 volts. And then I took this thing and I just started jacking with it. I started shaking it and I started tripping it, and then it stayed at like 8 or 9 volts, and it tests with a lot of resistance across it. So this thing was pooched. And even though it seemed really good and fine, look for the simple stuff, and I kind of did, but it seemed like that wasn't the issue, but ultimately it was. So got another one, we're gonna throw it in, and it's gonna work. And we'll show you here in a second. If we get it working, we'll show you in a second. Hopefully that is the problem, otherwise this video's wasted. All right, pretty confident it worked. Take it for a test run in the driveway. That's not ultimately how I want to leave the breaker, but for now, it will do. Just hold this up here for a second while I plug this in. All right, moment of truth. I still have to reassemble all this because I want to trace the wires all the way in, but they're not exposed there, so I couldn't trace these for continuity. But we got power so far. Okay, detected it. Turn it on. All right, looking good. I'll put this back together here, and she should be ready to go. So, moral of the story, I guess, is check and check again. And everything was testing fine for the first while, and then it ended up being a little breaker. And these things are relatively inexpensive. It doesn't hurt to keep one around. Fuses, breakers, stuff like that. Cheap insurance. And when you have them, when you need them, you'll be very, very glad you did. But anyway, maybe you learned something from that. Maybe it gives you a pause to think if you're troubleshooting your own stuff, but it ended up being a really simple and easy repair. But in the meantime, it kind of forced me to go in and trace all my wires and redo all my connections. The vinegar trick to get rid of some of the corrosion was amazing. And it wasn't really corroded to a point where there was an issue, but it was still nice to get them all clean. And then I hit everything with here it is. Corrosion X. There's a bunch of different products like this that work good. I've used it for everything for the past couple of years now, and everybody I've talked to does the same thing. Even if I ask folks like, hey, how would you do this? How would you protect this? How would you clean this? Everybody always goes to the Corrosion X, so it tells me I was on the right path. So there you go, folks. We'll be back in the water hopefully tonight. Get some more fish. If we do, we'll let you know. Take care, everybody. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. So I've been out here running the electric motor for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Not even so much as a hiccup, so 100% was the breaker. But it's almost a good thing it happened, because it forced me to go through all the contacts, all the connections, clean stuff up, and just maybe even do a little extra maintenance than what I normally do. So some food for thought for all y'all. You know, it's going to be busy season soon, so maybe it's time to get out and do a little maintenance. Don't laugh at me. Remember this. It's all in the presentation. That's the shot right there. I can almost see through these things. Hang on here. Oh my gosh, you can't see through them. That's nuts. All right, folks. Have a good one. Breakers, they're important. And don't run your motor to that one. Why would you? I mean, you can, but I don't know. A couple bucks will save you thousands in the long run. All right, folks, take care. God bless each and every one of you. God bless America.